Imagination. It can shape the fabric of reality, transforming everything you may think you know.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to. Hey, Kirstine, good to see you. Welcome to a kind of uh, morning kills, but a special edition. And special edition because of the fact that this isn't the morning time, but uh, I am doing this anyways because a lot of different stuff dropped, and I am not going to be my normal self and miss everything. Hey, lovely Sherry, good to see you here. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, so every big announcement seemed to drop uh, pretty recent. So I wanted to kind of get ahead of everything and talk about these different things and a lot of things in horror. Plus, I saw a really shitty movie that I am going to do a review on as well because it was so terrible that, in fact, it caused me to not only rant but say, I've got to protect people from seeing this truly terrible, terrible movie themselves. So, here I am uh, doing this live stream. Consider it a morning kills special. So like night kills. I don't know. I didn't come up with a gimmick before this. So before I get started, let me just say hi to everyone. Should be quick. Although I see I got more people coming in. So hello everybody and welcome to a special edition of Morning Kills. Morning Kills is my content for horror movies that I do separately, so I don't have my normal crew. Although I may have a special guest today, so stay tuned for that. Gonna have a special guest to help me talk about some of this stuff. Depending on not when they come in, I'm still just gonna cover what I have to cover before they get here. But let me say hi to everybody who has joined me for this little special edition, little special stream. I haven't streamed in a while. I was supposed to do a late night talks this Friday, but because I had my daughter, I did not do it. So it will be this upcoming Friday, and it will be a special panel stream. The panel is going to choose the topics. So everybody from the late night talks crew will come up with their own topic, and we will talk about that topic on the stream, which is different because normally I do the topics and then everybody kind of chimes in their thoughts. So I've picked a topic. PB will pick a topic. Cyber, hopefully Books by Jay, if she's available, get her to pick a topic. Just everybody in our group will come up with their own topic they want to talk about, and we'll discuss them uh, evenly, so to speak. So it should be fun shenanigans. You guys probably know what PB will talk about, but everybody else is a mystery to me. I have no idea. So, yeah, it will be fun. It definitely will be fun. I 100% agree. I think it's going to be a good time. And it's something different because every now and again, I want to do something a little bit different on my channel because I think that helps in sort of driving the conversation and doing a very kind of it's going to be an all over the place kind of stream, which is no different from any other late night talk if you guys have been following me for a while. But we have Kiefer, what's up? We have Christine, how are you? The lovely Sherry, good to see you here, and Depp Lander. So hopefully we'll get some more people. I don't know. This is a little off time. So first thing to talk about, my first topic, if you guys didn't come in for that preview, Dead by Daylight. I've played this game before, and it's a horror game. So imagine my surprise that a teaser dropped today for Nic Cage. Does this mean I will return to Dead by Daylight? Yes, of course it does. Nic Cage? Nic Cage is going to be a survivor. Now, it'd be really funny if he was like a creature, because how the game goes is this one person plays as a famous serial killer or killer that they've set up in the game. There are 4 survivors, and the survivors have to beat the monster or the killer or whatever else. So you got like Pinhead, they did Stranger Things, they've done Nightmare on Elm Street, Jason, all the really big properties have been in Dead by Daylight at some point in its life cycle. This game has been around for a very long time. It kind of is like the Fortnite of horror survival. Yeah, I call it like the Fortnite of horror survival because of the way that they've used having different characters in their games. Uh, they recently dropped, like, the last one I think they did was Clive Barker's Pinhead. And so imagine my surprise when they released a promo for Nicolas Cage as a survivor. I just want cool abilities, like he does one of his crazy speeches to amp up your party or something like that. I don't know what his kit is going to be built on. I don't know how they're going to implement it in the game, but that just sounds like ridiculous fun. And I kind of got out of Dead by Daylight because of the fact that I'm not really big into services. I don't like a lot of team games. Um, I've just had terrible experiences. I've played like Overwatch and things like that, and I just have really, because you get to a point where you work with people and nobody wants to do the objective. Everybody's off doing their own thing. You got to have a headset on to talk to everyone, and it just becomes a giant sort of pain in the ass with coordination, and then you got to talk to everybody and things like that. You got to tell people, like, oh, hey, go do this and I'm gonna do that. And then the best role for me is the killer, because uh, with the killer, all you got to do is go and kill people. So I kind of like that role, but I'm not really big on the team dynamic. I played when they introduced Ash, and I've been in and out of it, but it's pretty funny seeing Nicolas Cage come in. Ah, Deplander loves Dead by Daylight. Yeah, so this is a huge announcement for people who have really been consistently following the game and everything else like that. And I think it's cool. I think it's cool that it's been around for roughly 7 years. So that is really crazy that this game has managed to survive for 7 years. They've got a bunch of killers, survivors, and things coming out for the game that's going to mark their 7 years of having this game. And to be fair, they have had a bunch of different chapters and things like that. I think this year they're introducing Alice in Wonderland. They're doing a little different take on that. Um, they got a bunch of different stuff that they're going to be dropping for this new year. So I think it's good when a game re-innovates so much that they've actually been able to survive. Especially games to service is a very gray area. I think some gaming companies do it well, some just don't. I think some are very predatory and kind of douchebags in the way that they do their format. But if I remember correctly, there is currency you can earn in the game to unlock different things. Killers eventually become available by this currency you can get by just playing the game, or you can pay for the premium to unlock certain things. So it's nice to see that there are still some companies, even to this day, that are doing that kind of model, and they aren't completely predatory with their practices. This game has been around for years, and I think they've really come up with a format for combating that. So the next thing I kind of want to drop that was super big news, and it dropped today. And this is big for a lot of different reasons. But the biggest reason is this movie hasn't been in a development hell for years. This has been long teased by the person who has championed it to get it made. And for years, they have been not successfully able to get anything off the ground. So I'm a huge fan. I fell into a rabbit hole of following this thing's particular lore, story bits. It's how I got into the YouTuber game theory. Hey, Kiefer, good to see you. You don't have to talk, buddy. You could just listen. That's the great thing about me. You could just listen to this. So we've got a trailer to announce. First trailer here. So get a live reaction here. Let's take a look at this. What do we got? What we got going on here? This is the brand new teaser for Five Nights at Freddy's. Holy shit, this thing has been in development hell forever. So a little backstory before I play this teaser that is on the official Peacock Network page, because this is releasing in theaters and on Peacock simultaneously, which I think is stupid, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But this has been in development hell forever. The creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, Scott Kaufman, he has been very adamant about doing a great representation of his work, and I don't blame him. He has turned down studios. He's turned down numerous scripts. There were a lot of people attached and not attached to this project, and then attached to it again. It's been a mess. And I might pull up some articles on that to read for you all about the interesting road to getting this movie made. And of all studios, the studio I have the weirdest relationship, Blumhouse. I think they hit big. When they don't, it's an epic failure. But Scott Kaufman himself must have seen some magic, because he greenlit this and has been working behind the scenes with them to make as faithful of an adaptation. Now, for me, we already got Five Nights at Freddy's. We got Willy's Wonderland. That will always be my adaptation of Five Nights at Freddy's. I would love to see a crossover. I'll talk about that later. But that was what, for a lot of people, thought the closest we'd ever get to seeing a Five Nights at Freddy's. But here we are. We will play the official teaser for the movie that nobody ever thought was going to come out. So let's enjoy the magic here and see what we got.
Pizzeria, where fantasy and fun come to life. Hit it, guys.
I'm probably going to get
If you're watching
copyright
this
claim
video,
for this.
it means you've been selected as Freddy's newest security guard.
So let me pause it right there and go back to the puppets for a second. So hold on a second. Pause it. All right, so right there. Oh my God, they have Jim Henson Studios working on the puppets. First off, great fucking choice. Secondly, holy shit, look at how they look just like the characters. It's crazy.
Hello?
We're going to have so much fun together.
That is really terrifying. October 27th, and it's an October film. Like, wow, that shit looks crazy. Like, look, I got big into the lore and stuff. I played through all the games. That shit looks clean as hell. The first thing I kind of want to point out that kind of stood up with me, and I decided to break down this trailer a little bit for things I'm super excited about. So, first off, let me go just back to the ending. They got that little jingle that's in there when you beat the end of the night for it. And like, now look at this puppet there. Look at those puppets, look creepy as hell. Like, a second. Like, those puppets look super good. It's almost like watching Five Nights at Freddy's adapted to, and the best part about this, how this is the simplest, easiest video game adaptation, because the very first Five Nights at Freddy does not have a bunch of convoluted lore. Like, if you get into lore, it goes into some really weird and strange places, like bordering on like sci-fi kind of killer stuff. But the original Five Nights at Freddy's premise is super simple. It is not hard to adapt at all. Hollywood has this thing of wanting to put layers and shit on something that's super easy to and not complicated. Dude murders 7 children. The children's souls go into puppets. The puppets come to life and terrorize a security guard. It's the easiest fucking premise in the world, and the lore only gets convoluted as you go through, and they kind of fix things, because I believe when he made the game, it was only intended for one game, maybe 3. But yeah, those Muppets, right? Yeah. It says, Depp Lander says, yeah, a movie to make me scared of Muppets. Yeah, like, this is the original puppet scaring kind of, at least that I ever seen in games for me. And this thing has a huge, this has already like millions of views, and tons of thumbs up, so people are liking what they're doing. And Blumhouse, I give them credit. They take a lot of chances. Blumhouse is a studio that takes chances on their products, good or bad. I thoroughly enjoyed Megan. A lot of people like that. I watched the unrated version. I thought it was a bit of a step up, but pretty much the same thing as the original. The kills were definitely more gory, as everyone predicted, but it was a nice little creepy horror movie. It was good. They've had a lot of hit it out of the park kind of movies. So for me, this is a home run. This is the easiest concept to execute. I will dive into who's going to be directing and stuff, but I'm going to break down the trailer a bit more, because there was something I want to get back to here that made me super excited. See, they show it in a flash, so I want to see if we can see them. I think it's about here. Okay, so Matthew Lillard is playing William Afton. I had no clue that they were even considering him. They've been silent about the casting. If you guys don't know, I love Matthew Lillard. Matthew Lillard was probably one of the best antagonists in Scream. If you look on everyone's Scream list, and I probably will do a list of my favorite killers for Scream, he'd be number 1. Spoiler. Matthew Lillard has had a very interesting career. He is a very, to me, underrated performer, as far as I'm concerned. As far as it goes, he did the Scooby-Doo series. You cannot ever replace Matthew Lillard as Shaggy. I do not care how progressive Scooby-Doo gets, okay? Matthew Lillard's performance will probably always be known as Shaggy to most people who enjoy those movies. He is the guy who brought Shaggy to life in the Scooby-Doo movie. He had the voice, the mannerisms, everything like that. So Matthew Lillard has been around for years. This man was in Twin Peaks: The Return. I don't know if anyone has ever seen Twin Peaks. I might do a retrospective on that. Very odd show made by one of my favorite directors. and Twin Peaks was very unique. I remember Matthew Lillard was in Twin Peaks. He has a very small role. I think he's like in the first episode only, but he's just an all-around charismatic, very much a character actor. And to have him as William Afton, what a great choice. And like just the look. If you look like, my God, I would have never known this was Matthew Lillard if I wasn't told. Like that dude, he looks like pictures you see of William Afton before he becomes the purple guy. And if you guys follow Five Nights at Freddy's, the purple guy is the one who starts a bunch of shit. He kills 7 children. He's the one who kind of kicks off their souls going into a doll, in a sense. There's a bunch of other lore and shit behind him. That's when the story kind of gets convoluted. But just like the look he has and everything else. If you told me you casted him as this, I would not be able to see it. But now getting images, I'm like, oh yeah, that's your live action. That's your live action Michael Afton right there. Like, he has the perfect balance that I believe you need, where he could bring some kind of humanity, but yet a dark, twisted kind of person. And the thing with William Afton is, in this series, he is a terrible person. He's literally a child killer. He killed these kids and stuffed their bodies into these animatronics. The souls weren't able to rest, so they inhabit now the animatronics and bring them to life. That's the basic premise. But he did it because he kind of went crazy after his kid died. There's a whole big thing. God, if I talked about the lore, it'd be like a game theory video. I'd be here for like an hour and a half explaining everything that goes into this. But for your base premise, this is fantastic casting. Like it's creepy. It's creepy how much. And if I had to guess, so we'll do some breakdown here. If I had to guess, these are the kids that are going to be the kids that will inhabit the dolls or the animatronics. Like, I think that the expense for this movie, one, is going to be getting Matthew Lillard as William Afton, and 2, the animatronics, clearly, because those are homemade robots by Jim Henson. None of the CGI bullshit. This is supposed to be like a lot more practical than we normally see. What's up, KH? Welcome to my breakdown. We have some big news tonight. I had to talk about, and a bit of a review I'll get to later. But yeah, we have our first look at the Five Nights at Freddy movie coming out. Sorry about that, mic issues. So yeah, this movie seemed like it was not going to ever come out. Let me just put this my head for a second. So yeah, this was a movie that seemed like it was never going to come out. Like, we were never going to have a Five Nights at Freddy's movie ever. So here we are finally, and it's happening, and that to me is crazy. So let's continue on here. So we got the kids here. These are the kids who will later inhabit the dolls. And I'm guessing he's seeing the memories of these children. Five Nights at Freddy's goes to some pretty fucking crazy places if you follow the lore. I would strongly recommend going to see Game Theory channel. He's got like a breakdown of all of the lore in chronological order. It's a lot of shit to get into, but this is going to be our security guard. I know this actor, and I forget what his name is. I'm going to see if Josh Hutchinson. Josh Hutchinson has been around forever too. I'm glad he's getting work because he is a very decent actor, and it's good to see him actually getting to do these projects. So I'm glad they got him. He's charismatic in his own way. We see this poor bastard who's getting like, oh my, that's just creepy. I wanted to point out the thing that I like with the trailer.
Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, where fantasy and fun come to life. Hit it, guys.
Like, I'm gonna skip past that because they're trying to get claimed.
If you
Like,
are watching this
that
video,
is crazy. Like,
it means
okay,
you've
so
been selected.
a thing I was confused about here is that, as we could see, if you guys know the lore behind Five Nights at Freddy's, the person who made this, William Afton, he had made these animatronics, and him and his partner had opened up a pizza shop. And after a bunch of accidents, kids going missing, things like that, I don't know why it took 7 kids, or it might have been 7 kids all at once. The story is varied. The pizza place was forced to close down. So I think right now it's a lot of the first game where this place is abandoned, and basically you're a security guard in charge of just watching this building. Basically, you watch over it at night. So clearly he's our protagonist. He's the security guard. The dude we saw who was going like was probably the poor bastard who worked there before him. They've also shown clips of Phone Guy. If you guys don't know the story of Phone Guy, he's the one who kind of feeds you the exposition every night. When you go on to the next night, you receive a phone call, and Phone Guy gives you a little bit more of the story. So they'd be like, hey there, hope your first night's going well. Just make sure that the lights are all on, and don't go outside, and all of this stuff. So it's pretty cool stuff. But yeah, it's got a lot of things to it. So there's I believe that's Bonnie, or
As Freddy's newest
I say
security
that's Bonnie.
guard.
There's Fred there. I there's a head
Hello?
there. Oh, there's Chica. There's Chica,
We're
the
going to have
original.
so much fun together.
Like, I'm curious about this scene right here. Don't remember this much from the games, but it looks like he's strapped to a chair, and they're trying to put the suit on him. If you guys don't know, the suits were spring locks. So this goes back to the story, which is they needed to create suits that they can be animatronic and fully atomic, or function with nobody in them, but people would actually put these suits on and walk around and like greet the kids at birthday parties and things like that. And so the insides and stuff kind of shifted if there was a person in it, and then when there wasn't, they all kind of it shifts back. And this is a plot point to what happens to the main antagonist, William, and several, actually this goes to several other different things that happen to people in this series. But basically, if they get wet or they get any moisture on them, the mechanism snap shut. So that's why they decommission them later, and they build more updated versions of these characters because the technology got better. Now, the timeline is a little weird for this because when you follow the games chronologically, Scott Kaufman really didn't have a plan, and he stated that he sort of made it up as he's gone along. So the timeline's a little bit out of whack, but I believe the first Five Nights at Freddy's is supposed to be in like the 80s, which is why you got the old school look with the lady and the messed up hair. Like, I just want to point like this is the funniest like PSA thing that I've seen. You all remember watching these videos, right? Someone's be like, "Hey, welcome to your first night of working at a cheesy palace here, and we're all a part. You're part of the family now." And they don't tell you that in the meantime, there's like animatronic puppets that are gonna try to kill you at night. That's not on the thing. They do the normal corporate bullshit, and I like the fact that this kind of brings in that feel. Like, you could tell in this promo something's not quite right. I mean, look at her hair. Look at this. she looks like she's had a rough shift. Like
Fazbear's
like,
Pizzeria.
look at how she's smiling. Okay, hold on a second. Look at that smile. That smile looks like somebody defeated by the corporate world. That is hilarious. All right. Hey, what's up, Lemon Pie? We are going through the Five Nights at Freddy's official teaser. The movie nobody thought was ever going to be made is being made. Super excited, buckle up, and I've got a review coming up for a very terrible movie that I will be talking about here. But I'm going to dive into some info because I've been super excited. I know Bitchy is super excited for this movie. So let's just do the trailer. I've watched this teaser like 5 times. Well, one more time because this is so amazing. I never thought this was going to happen. We'll play the
Welcome
teaser
to
for
Freddy
people coming in.
Fazbear's Pizzeria, where fantasy and fun come to life. Hit it, guys.
Like, that is so 80s.
If you're watching this video, it means you've been selected as Freddy's newest security guard.
Hello?
We're going to have so much fun together.
Like, and the little jingle at the end, just mwah, chef's kiss. Beautiful, beautiful. This is everything that I think trailers and teasers should be now. I hate movies that show, or movie trailers that show too much. It's disappointing, okay? I just want to know who's in it, what the premise is, and whether or not I should care about going to see this. Yeah. If you guys don't know, so if you don't know the story, a lot of the game was built on the premise of Chuck E. Cheese. As a matter of fact, uh, in interviews, Scott Kaufman has talked about it. It's got some strong connections to Chuck E. Cheese, and he thought to himself, "What if you did a horror game in that kind of setting?" And it is terrifying. I mean, look, you're a night security. You're like, hold on a second. Let's just go back. Like, look at this place. Look at this. Like, you're watching security monitors. Who wants to be? And at this point in the timeline, it's abandoned. So I mean, you could tell it's got a very rundown feel to it. It's one of those things where you could tell that's not the most optimal place to be doing security work. I'll tell you something right now. I don't care how much money or benefits was in it. There is no way in hell you could get me to do security gig in a condemned building with a history of a dude going crazy and murdering 7 kids and stuffing their bodies into animatronic suits. And they say allegedly, motherfucker did it. He went mad. You would never get me in that kind of a position. Like, it's a very creepy concept, and I'm interested to see how they keep the night guard in. Remember, he does the job, or the object of the game is to do it for, I believe, five nights. So, 5 nights at Freddy's. So I'll be interested to see if they're gonna play with that premise. Like each night it gets worse and worse, and then you collect your check at the end of the week. And at the same time, if you ain't making money and this is your only chance, like I get it. I guess I'd sit through animatronics coming to life too, and be like, look, man, I got bills to pay. All right, listen, we're gonna have to figure some shit out. Okay, you guys are just gonna have to chill. I didn't kill you. I'm just here doing my job, man. I got bills to pay. Hey, I got a kid. I got a kid. I gotta put food on the table. So you're just gonna have to calm the fuck down, all right, and kill the dude responsible. All I'm doing is I got to check security cameras, okay? So just sit your ass in the back, chill out for a bit, and you could do that haunting this place bullshit as soon as I punch out, okay? It's only like, what, a couple hours, It's from 12 until the next day. We can all get along. I'll just lock my door. You guys do your running in the hallway bullshit, and we're good, man. like, 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 I don't know. I just imagine that kind of a conversation going on. But anyways, yeah. So we've got a pretty interesting cast. So let me just get out of this, and I'm gonna pull up the casting for this movie because I find it a very interesting, cast. So I'm just gonna kind of go to the IMDb page and kind of highlight everything so we could get a look at the cast choice, because it's a very wide range of different actors and actresses and things like that. So yeah, a lot of tonight is definitely highlighting this Five Nights at Freddy's, because it is crazy this movie is getting made. So as we got here from the IMDb, the writers are Scott uh, Cotton and Emma Tamimi. I have no clue who they did. We got stars Josh Hutchins, Matthew Lillard, and Elizabeth Lale. Which I even know Elizabeth Lale. She's been in a lot of different movies too. So Matthew Lillard will be playing William Afton. Josh Hutchinson is going to play Mike Schmidt. If you guys don't know, the security guard's name in the original supposedly is Mike, who turns out to be the son of William Afton. I don't know if they're going to go that route in this movie, but shit, spoilers, I guess. But I've been following this for so long. I don't know. I imagine the movies are going to do something different. But if you look at the last moments in the game, you see he signed his name Mike Schmidt. So that's pretty cool. I could definitely tell there's a lot of love and care being made in this movie. Right down to having that little jingle. That is when you complete a night. That's the sound you get. And then we've got Mary Stuart Masterson. I've seen her in a couple of things. The rest of the cast, I don't know. I'm not going to go through the kid actors because this is probably their first movie. But that's crazy that we are finally getting this. So let's see what Scott has done. We're going to go into Scott Caden. I want to see what kind of movies he's got under his belt. So he's known for Five Nights at Freddy's. What is this, a game? Wait. Let's see. Freddy in Space. So previous, he's a writer for. Oh, he's a writer for the Five Nights at Freddy's. Produce, and he. Wait a second. Wow, that's interesting. Wait, is that Scott? Video game series. Okay, who's... I gotta go back to that, but who's Emma Tamimi? Emma Tamimi is known for The Wind. I have no clue what that is. Into the Dark. Interesting. So this is a horror anthology series. Okay, so she's got some horror chops here. The Wind. This looks like another horror movie too. All right, cool. So they got people who actually know what they're doing. That's good. It's always good to see that. Can't wait to hear a review on this film. Oh yeah, I am super excited. I don't imagine if they do this movie well. Hey, what's up, Perp? Talking about that fire preview. Perp, if you want to, you could jump on in, give your thoughts of what you think about the new Five Nights at Freddy's trailer. This is my morning kill segment, so I talk about horror. And there you go. I sent you a link. Tell me what you think about this if you feel like it. But yeah, this person has some horror credits. I think I remember the anthology series Into the Dark. I know it was a very short-lived series, but I remember thinking it was pretty good. And apparently she's worked on that. So you have you have a person who's been writing the video games for years, directing and producing. You have Emma to me doing the screenplay, and she's pretty knowledgeable in horror herself. So I think this has the makings of being a really good movie. So the synopsis of this is Mike Schmidt, a night guard at a local diner, becomes troubled after confronting the truth about the animatronic costumes that reside. They aren't just robots, they are alive. Will he be able to survive 5 nights at this haunted diner, or is something more sinister at play? I think this is going to be very interesting to see how they adopt a premise like this. It's a very simplistic premise until you get to the more convoluted storylines that Five Nights at Freddy's, and then it becomes kind of this thing. It don't matter, Perp. I'm going to be doing a review on 6, so you could join me because I'm definitely going to be negative on the film, and I'll be talking about that in a little bit. But like, I think this is a really simple premise, at least the first game, for somebody to adapt. And I've always wondered why it's taken them. But Scott Kaufman, who created the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, he didn't want the just anybody doing these movies. He was very protective of his property. So, oh, okay, so that was how you spell his name. That is a real weird name because it is not pronounced how it sells. So Scott Kaufman himself wrote, and he's producing and shooting the film. That's very interesting. This is gonna be okay. This is the first time. Well, no, they did it with the Morning Kills special, Morning Kills, much less at night segment. Yes. So they are. So he is going to be very much driving this movie, which I think is good, or it could be bad. But the fact that they have another writer will really rein in the ideas. I think you need a balance because what works in a video game may not work in a movie. Just like what works for movies doesn't work for video games. It's a fine balance, and it'll be very interesting to see how they pull this off. So it's kind of funny because I don't think he has anything else besides Five Nights at Freddy's under his belt. Yeah, he's wrote the stories and the books even of Five Nights at Freddy's themselves. So this is going to be very interesting. I'm very curious to see. Of course, you do have the Emma Tamimi writing or doing the treatment of the script, I'm gathering, because it says screenplay written by. So it could be a collaborative effort of Scott Kaufman and her writing these together. So I think that'll bring a good balance when you have somebody who's in horror, who understands the horror behind the property, and you've got the man himself working on this project together. I think it's very interesting. It fascinates me. I do not see a world where, and this might age poorly. We'll see October 27th, but I'm going to be perfectly honest. I do not see, with the way that this fan base is for these games, I don't picture a world where this movie doesn't make a ridiculous amount of money. I just don't see it. I don't see a world where this does not do ridiculous box office numbers. Also, considering that a lot of studios seem to be allergic to releasing horror movies in October. The fact this is October 27th, it's perfect. I don't know what else would be running against this. And honestly, I don't know who would want to run against this, because this is going to be huge. Mark my words, this is going to be all over the place. Like, there are so many Five Nights at Freddy fans, like just rabbit fans. So let me see. I'm gonna go to the calendar of October and see what movies we've got coming out, because I'm really curious what's going to be releasing at this time. So, oh, we got a pretty interesting list here. All right, let's check this out. So we've got Saw, The Exorcist, uh, Friday the 13th reboot. Uh, Other than that, I don't see. Yeah, I don't know what else is. Let me see if uh October 2023 movie release. Let's see. Movies coming out in October. Let's see. So we got The Exorcist coming out. Um yeah, this is a weird lineup. So we got Craven the Hunter, which is just super weird. Saw X, The Underdogs, Dumb Money, Ordinary Angels, Damn Pain and Hustle. Like, yeah, I don't see anything that's really looks super huge that's coming out. And then right at the beginning is Five Nights at Freddy's. So yeah, um, I think the competition will be Saw and maybe The Exorcist. But my God, the Saw franchise has gotten so out of whack. Like, the Saw franchise, to me, I like it, but I do acknowledge it has a lot of issues. It's just at this point for me a very guilty pleasure movie. I never go into a Saw movie expecting high art. It's a convoluted story that makes no sense how this fucking serial killer John Kramer should still be alive, even when he's dead. Dude's in the movie. Like, I think Spiral was a very good Saw movie. I think the direction they were taking it in there was smart, and they completely scrapped that. So I'm going to be very curious to see where Saw goes from here. The Exorcist, I'm 50-50 on. I'm under the opinion you should not remake that movie. And the person remaking it did Halloween, and I'm not crazy about the last movie. I don't think it's as bad as everyone says. Um, but I think that they want to do a trilogy, and I don't think The Exorcist is really that kind of movie. I think The Exorcist is a one and done. The problem with that movie was people tried to make sequels to it, and you never capture the magic of that first movie. And I think that David Green could make a good Exorcist movie. I say could, because the first Halloween, no matter how many people hate on it now, 2018 was vastly popular by most majority of people. I think he did a great job when he was working directly with John Carpenter, and it kind of went off the rail towards the end. I don't think he really nailed the landing. But The Exorcist, I think that's a bad play. That's one of those movies that if you mess up, man, it's not gonna be well. And the other question is, in this generation, where's the market for this Exorcist movie? I want to know. Like, honestly, in the chat and anybody who watches this back, are you excited to see an Exorcist movie? Did you ever wake up and go, you know what? You know what was missing in this reboot era we're in, right? You know what's missing? Where's my Exorcist movie? Like, I want to know what group is out there campaigning. Because I'll tell you what. Okay, my experience with The Exorcist. I'll tell you, buckle up for a Zod story, okay? When I was a kid, my mom was terrified of The Exorcist. Okay, we're Spanish, all right. We believe in that shit. So these kinds of movies do terrify me. And the one movie I've never seen my mom jump for anything. My mom is a badass. She's not scared of anything. But believe me when I tell you, there's only one movie to this day, if we watch together, we got to put the lights on and open the curtains. And that's The Exorcist. The original Exorcist has that thing. It's like the movie X. It has that X factor. You don't know what it is. You don't know where it comes from. It could be the way freaking made the movie. In case you didn't know, the dude's name was freaking was the director, right? He put his crew through hell to make this movie, just like The Shining, right? There's stories about that. There's stories about The Exorcist. Very well known, okay? There was everything just lines up in that movie to make it the movie it is today. And I know a lot of people who watch this and a lot of kids go, oh, it's not that scary now when you're watching it. But back when it came out, she walks like a spider down the stairs. They did that before the Grudge did it, okay? Like, the Grudge gets a lot of credit for the person walking backwards on the stairs thing. But that was an Exorcist thing. The Exorcist came out in like the 70s, 80s, okay? That was the first movie to have some crazy shit like someone walking backwards on some stairs. This girl contorted her body in unnatural ways. And just the premise of it. Everything was terrifying in that movie. Now, you look at it now, and I know a lot of people look at it now, and it, it has aged. It's an old movie. And they think, what's so scary about it? But when I was a little kid, man, watching that shit, dude. And then it's like, then there's a scene where she grabs a cross and she stabs herself in an inappropriate spot. You guys know what she's talking about. What I'm talking about, if you've seen the film, all right? She's like, Jesus fucks me. And the shit was wild. That was just some shit you didn't see back in the day. And me growing up as a kid, I hadn't, up until that point, seen a movie like that, right? Where it's just so wild, and the way when she gets further into possession, you can see the air as she breathes in and out. The room is so fucking cold, right? And he did a lot of research, and even when you look into the theology behind it, right? Hell is actually not hot. Hell is actually cold, according to what they say, right? So it's not really this fire and brimstone thing, and they bring that to life in this movie. There's a lot of things in this movie that the director did that I feel like don't have the same effect now that they did back then. Okay? Because back then, The Exorcist came out and people said, holy shit. Like, it was one of those movies where just it came out at the right time. It had that soundtrack, right? It has that theme, just like Halloween or anything else. And it just took people. And then my headphones died. Awesome. Okay, so it was one of those movies that took the mainstream by storm, and you had this thing where the stars lined up and people liked it. And I don't think that there's going to be a way to recapture that. I think there's some movies that are made where it's a one-time deal and you're just never going to have the stars line up for this kind of a movie again. That's just my honest opinion. Could it do well? Yeah. Is this director to do it? He literally resurrected Halloween just so everybody can fight about it again. So I guess if there's a director who could do it, it's this guy. David Green has proved he's got pedigree, so we'll see. But Five Nights at Freddy, I predict, is going to kill it. I'm just going to say it. I'm calling it. Five Nights at Freddy is going to destroy the October box office. I'm going to formally predict this now. Is it true? Maybe. Maybe not. But that's just my prediction. I think this thing is the internet broke with that trailer. This trailer literally has like 1 million views. Let me just go. I'm just going to recheck just to make sure I'm not talking out of my ass. But I'm pretty sure when I looked at the views for it, it was astronomically like, oh my God, it already has a ridiculous amount of views on it. So hold on a second. Let me go check out the reviews. I'll go to Universal's first. So right now, the trailer currently has it's number 1 trending. It has 9.3 million views as of a day ago. And the Universal Pictures subscriber page only has 7.58 million subscribers. This trailer has more views than Universal's own YouTube page has subscribers. Just think of 9.3 million with a like of 857K. Now, I can't see the dislikes, but I don't imagine there's a lot. There's like 59,000 comments. Let me go see Peacock's page because that's the trailer I played from the Peacock website, or the Peacock official YouTube page. Let me see. Trailer reaction. Oh my God. There we go. Now let me see Peacock's because they didn't pull it up for me before. So Peacock only has 895 subscribers, and they've got 133K views. So their page is clearly smaller, but that's a lot for them, and 5.4K likes. So this is gonna be huge. This is gonna be huge. Like Universal's probably the happiest they've ever been right now. They are so happy they got this. Like this is like, mark my words. This thing's gonna kill the box office. This is gonna be. I don't know if it'll be on the level of Mario Brothers, but I never thought Mario Brothers would reach 1 billion. But here we are. Mario's like at 1.3 billion. So anything's fucking possible in this age. And I think this is the movie. This movie is going to launch horror into the stratosphere. I'm calling it. I think this is really going to catapult this year of horror just on a whole nother level. You got X coming out as well. The Final X, Maxine. There's so much good stuff coming out. And that's why I had to do this stream. I'm super excited. Like, this, I'm not going to do my top 10 movie list until after this comes out. I'll probably do my list in November or December. More than likely December, so I try to get every movie in there. That's why I was able to get Violent Night in my list last year. I want to make sure I get all of these in here, but this is probably, I'm just predicting like this to be in my top 10 list. If it's not, then that means something went horribly wrong. But I'll just let y'all know now. Like, Renfield's definitely going to be in there, and this probably somewhere in that list. Like, it's been a really good year. Fuck it, even maybe Fast 10. Who knows? I'm super excited for Fast 10. So it's a great time to be a movie lover, I have to say. I won't be seeing The Flash, so I'm sorry to say, if you're going to be looking for a Flash review here on my channel, I know I'm the DC guy, but I'm kind of taking a moral stance. And as I told you guys, I will not endorse anything Ezra Miller is in, and I won't endorse anything Alec Baldwin is in. And that's a personal moral stance I'm taking. So I'm not going to go and see the Flash movie. I have no interest in it, to be quite honest. So I'm not going to have a review on that. It's just my own personal. It's like a lot of people who won't go see Amber Heard's movies, right? To which I understand. Like, I'm still going to watch movies that have her in it because, unfortunately, she was in one of my favorite Nic Cage movies. So, it is what it is. But I'm not going to actively go out of my way to see anything with her in it. It's just like, uh, she's not a good actress. Just on a principle, not just she's a terrible person, but she's just not a very good actress either. She's a bit of both, and that's how I feel with Ezra Miller. I will not endorse anything. I think he's one of the worst Flash that we've ever had, honestly. And the whole appeal of the movie is Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton, and just give me a Batman film with them in it. Like, this movie feels to me like just stuffing a bunch of people in it just because. So I have no interest in seeing that, but I will be seeing Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm so glad that the one thing I have to look forward to is not DC related at all. I am super fucking excited. I can't wait. In the comments below, let me know, what do you think about this? So I do got one more thing to talk about, because this is a shorter segment. This isn't a late night talk, so I'm just going to get down to reviewing. And this movie inspired me to review it based upon how fucking terrible this movie was. And this movie came out in 2022, and it flew under my radar. Now, PurpMinded, I know, probably saw this, and if you like great reviews, hey, Sean B., good to see you. If you like great reviews, go check out PurpMinded. He does like 15,000 videos a day. But he's a good cat. He's in the fandom zone. Go check out his channel. I've been on there a couple of times. I even went on there to do a Guardians 3 review. I think we had a great talk. It was really cool. I had a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to maybe being on another panel stream with him, because it was just a great discussion. So if you want to get a really good breakdown of Guardians 3, definitely go check out his channel. We really dove into it, but if you guys know, that will probably make my top 10 list this year. I was really impressed. Kind of a nice swan song to the Guardians, but anyways, I'm gonna show you guys a trailer for the movie I watched, and I know you'll probably be saying, "Oh, this looks good," and then I'm gonna tell you my experience with this movie, and this movie was shit. And I'll do the spoiler banner, because personally I think this movie is so fucking terrible that you should have it spoiled for you, and not waste your fucking time. I saw it on Peacock, and if I wasted money in the theater, I would have been fucking pissed watching this. But let's play this out, because on the surface this seems like something that could be interesting. Then I will tell you what the reality of this movie is. So this movie is called Sick. So let's check out the trailer.
This isn't a vacation, it's a quarantine.
We're the only people around here.
Where's your mask? This isn't a vacation, it's a quarantine.
A quarantine in style.
So first off, it was Peacock original, so I should have known.
Are you kidding me?
But
This is incredible. Sick, and it's all ours. The only neighbor is miles away.
so let me just stop right there, because I'm already agitated thinking about this movie. Now, I thought this could have been a good premise, and I'll explain to you why this was shot during the quarantine time. So already this movie is out of date with its premise, and it's going to age very poorly. But I will tell you why. It was so fucking ridiculous, because the initial premise doesn't really factor into anything until the end of the movie. And when I get there, I'll get to it. But already, even this teaser's fucking pissing me off with flashbacks of finishing this piece of shit.
I thought you were spending quarantine alone.
What are you doing here?
I wanted to see you, and
So you got your little love triangle. All right, you know, boyfriend coming over, two girls, and this dude isolated. Now, Kevin Williamson. This is why I watched this movie. Let me just stop it right there. Kevin Williamson is the writer of the original Scream. A lot of people credit Wes Craven, and I just want to say right out the gate, Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson both wrote the script for Scream. It was not a one-man job. Wes Craven is a very good director, but if you let the man write, he makes things like Before I Die, okay? He's a very iffy writer. And look, I love Wes Craven. He's got a legacy and all of this, but we could still be honest here. His writing wasn't the best, okay? Him and Kevin Williamson was like this dream team because Kevin Williamson did a lot of grounded stuff and Wes did the more fantastical elements, and together they made the satire and humor. I thought that's what this movie was going to be. That's what I thought. And I will explain to you what the movie actually is.
Jump in, water's fine. Who is this?
I don't know.
That's creepy, Parker.
So now you see shades of Scream here, right? This dude is texting them. No, not scary. It's not scary at all. This movie was not scary. There was some good sequences, and I'll get into that in my positive. Definitely not smart at all. Especially the ending.
Oh my God! Just one moment. Unlock the door! Unlock the door! You have a mask, don't you? Your mask. What? I can't let you in. It's not safe. Are you kidding me, lady? Please!
So when I saw that, I was like, oh, it's going to be some clever satire. There's going to be a little humor, right? A little humor on that, like maybe somebody going too crazy, maybe show both sides, right? Some people who don't wear masks that should have, a little bit of satire on people who could taken that premise a little bit too far. You got this girl, she's running clearly, she escaped from the killer, right? And then she wants help from the lady. And then the lady is like, put on a mask, and she doesn't. There's more to that scene, and I'll get to it. So, but no, that was not what I got. So, spoilers incoming, because I'm going to spoil every facet of this movie because I need to describe my rage for this film. This film is a big pile of shit. I am sorry. I try to be objective with these things. I try to. This was like when I watched that movie Dash Cam. And I was told right off the bat, right? You either really like this movie or you really don't. There's not an in-between. I fucking hated that movie, and I could see why a lot of people did. This movie is the most uneven pile of shit that I have ever seen. The messaging behind this movie is so goddamn confusing that I could not tell if this was a pro-mask, pro-precautionary tale, or was it kind of picking at the people taking things too far? Or were they trying to do both and just spectacularly failed at every fucking aspect of this? So, I'm going to start with the things I like, because there's a fucking small list. And then I'm going to rip into this movie because this movie is fucking terrible. The people who wrote those bullshit headings, it's scary. And critics, of course, love this movie because of the theme, the COVID theme, okay? And, you know, they were pro, anything that made people feel like shit for not following every procedure, so fuck them. Okay, this movie is fundamentally bad just because it's fucking bad. But when you mix it with a very confusing message, it makes this movie even fucking worse. When I am done with your film and I have no clue what the fuck the point of the movie was, then you have failed on every fucking level to describe what I'm supposed to care about. So, let me start with the good stuff in this movie. It ended. No, alright, I'm gonna be fair. I'm not gonna be that guy. It was the end of the film. Okay. Seriously, some of the camera work is really good. There are scenes, okay? There's scenes in this movie and individual moments where I see where this movie could have been good. Legitimately, there is a scary premise and a good movie in here. There's so much shit on the outside of this, right? It's like if you found a good piece of chocolate, right? Say there's a piece of chocolate you're having. You're super excited. And then it falls into a pile of shit. And the initial chocolate is good. There's something there. It's your favorite chocolate. But the rest of it is covered in shit. That's what this movie is. There's like good ideas here and there. There's cool kills here and there. But it's covered by this fucking stupid, ridiculous premise, terrible fucking acting, and no humor. Kevin Williamson is known for razor sharp wit and humor. There's no fucking humor in this movie. There's things that try to pass as jokes that just isn't fucking funny. So yeah. So that movie is all about all over the place for what it's trying to be. Yeah, it really felt like a movie that had a premise and an idea that could have been told in 5 minutes, but they tried to stretch it out to an hour and 26 minutes, and it doesn't fucking work. Even Kevin Williamson and Wes Craven are known for their twists, right? When you go to see a Scream, you go to see what's the reveal, what's the twist, right? That's their thing. These guys were the guys who came up with that whole crazy twist, right? And so the twist comes, and it's so fucking ridiculously stupid that at first I was watching the movie and I was intrigued. I was still annoyed. Bitchy will tell you she absolutely knew from the beginning. I don't know why I don't listen to her when she makes these calls. I guess because I'm an eternal optimist, right? I was still invested. She looked at the movie and said, "This is gonna fucking suck." Like she was like, "This does not look good," and I was like, "Nah. You know, it's Kevin Williamson, right? There's something's coming, right?" So the good parts of this movie. God, I'm so pissed off. I just keep on leaning into the bad. I'm trying to be fair here. The good parts of this movie is there is a unique premise here. Somewhere in this movie, there is a script or a universe that exists where this movie could have been good. Clearly, based on the fact that this was shot during the end of COVID and didn't come out until later, you could tell. Like, there's only like 3 or 4 actors at once. They're all kind of. There's not that many people, and so you could tell this was very much filmed during COVID. Now, the premise is good, except for the fact that this isn't going to age well because nobody's going to give a fuck about any of these COVID type movies that came out that focused on fucking COVID. They're just not. Nobody's going to come back to it 10 years and even understand what the fuck the movie is about. That's the first thing. The second thing is the premise of the movie about being isolated and isolating yourself would have worked, except, and I didn't realize this until Bitchy brought it up to me, it wants to make commentary on the COVID situation. The issue the movie has is it does very little to kind of steer the conversation in that direction. So what I mean by that is this movie does very little to actually get any kind of deep, meaningful talk on either side for this movie. So when you get to the reveal, it feels as if you missed about 20 minutes of the setup for what they're revealing. So you've watched this movie for an hour, and by the time they set up the premise of what's going on, you are so fucking confused, and it feels like the movie took a fucking massive right turn because nothing was explained about why you got from A to fucking Z. It's very, very jarring. It's a very jarring reveal. Okay, so I gotta pull up some of this shit because I was so pissed off. I don't know the character's name. Uh, the characters are so generic. That's another thing. These characters are the most cardboard, stock kind of characters that I've seen in a movie in a very long time. These are like the kind of characters from back in the day where you just want the movie to hurry up and kill them because they have no fucking personality. None of them have any fucking personality. I cannot tell you. And I sat down, I watched this movie, my eyeballs were on the screen, and I can't tell you a goddamn thing about any of these characters, what their motivations are, what their hopes and dreams are, or even their interpersonal relationships. Everything in this movie is not set up whatsoever. There is no linearity to this storytelling to where you get a sense of who these people are or you give a shit when they're dying. Even the killer motivation, when I get to the reveal, it's so astronomically stupid. It literally pissed me off. This is one of those movies that pissed me off that I wasted my goddamn time to get. Like, that was the point. Like, this is the reason they're doing what they're doing, because the killers were the only thing that was kind of keeping me invested, because the people are fucking boring and flat. They're terrible. They're terrible characters. I don't know if the actors are terrible. I feel bad if they're better actors, but I don't know who they are. They're a bunch of unknown actors, and I feel bad because this script doesn't accommodate to even give them any personality. So they're really just a bunch of cardboard cutouts waiting to be killed. It was atrocious. This movie is fucking atrocious. Sean B says when a movie is all over the place or whatever it's trying to be, it's usually isn't it usually unwatchable? Then I'm guessing it's a movie with a bad script. That's what I'm thinking too. Honestly, it feels like it's got a good premise, but the script just isn't there. So let me get down to who these characters are supposed to be. Let me see if I can. Okay, so we have Geedon Alden playing Parker. So there's Parker, Beth Millen playing Mira. So there's Parker, Mira, Pamela is a killer, I think, Tyler, Jeb. So okay, so you have Mira and Parker. And who was the other one? Because I swear to God, there was another. There were two girls. Okay, so there's Mira. I'm reading the synopsis because I couldn't even remember these fucking people. They were so boring. They're so boring. I could not, for the life of you, if you put a gun to my head, I could not remember who any of these people are. So, so there's DJ, Parker, and who's this other girl? There's pushed off to the ground. So there's Mira, Parker, and DJ. So I can't tell you who was who. I'm sorry. I only know the main chick, who's Mira is her name. So the premise is that it starts with a person getting killed named Tyler. He's stalked in the grocery store, and then when he gets home, he gets murdered. Okay, so I'm like, cool, kind of a Scream vibe. Now, here's where there's shades of Scream, and this is where the movie feels like it's all over the place. So this is COVID time, masks are gone, stuff in the grocery store. Remember when people were buying a bunch of toilet paper? All that shit is out, okay? So I'm like, all right, I see what you're doing. They're trying to make a commentary. Maybe this is a thing about young kids kind of ignoring the rules or whatever, right? So dude goes home. Goes to his house, gets fucking murdered, throat slit, the whole nine. We cut to the next day. and there's these two girls talking you saw in the trailer, and that is Mira and Parker, who are so Parker is and I'm sorry I have to label it like this because this is the only way I could remember them because they were so fucking generic. But Parker is the white girl, and Mira is the black girl. That's the only way I could remember them. Honestly, because they have no personalities. Now, they have conversations in this movie, but I could not for the life of me tell you their traits because the conversations is all just set up for what is going to happen later, but it's nothing about who they are as people. Like who are these kids? What do they do? What I got is they party, they fuck, and they don't care about COVID procedures. That's what I got from the character. I could not tell you where they lived, what their social life was like. Do they have any friends? How did they become friends? Nothing. There is nothing. The whole conversation is literally about uh, the one girl, Parker, saying, I don't have COVID, and the other girl going, you better not because I don't want to catch it. And we have to be safe and quarantined. Like, I swear to God, that's a fucking conversation. True story. Watch the first fucking 5 seconds. Don't watch the whole movie. Just watch the first 5 minutes. If you can find out what these characters are, or what characteristics they have, then good for you. You are more astute than I am, because for the life of me, I watched all 126 minutes or whatever of this fucking piece of shit movie. And I could not it was like an hour and 26 minutes, but it felt like 2 hours. It really felt like 2 hours. When I got to the end of this movie, I said, holy shit, that felt so long. How long was it? This movie is only an hour and 26 minutes. It feels like fucking 2 hours because it just drags, okay? And there's really only 3 characters in this movie. 3 people totally wooden that you're following. So there's no fun. There's not a fun little scene where they're all getting together and making jokes, or they all decide to smoke pot and do some crazy shit. There's nothing that defines these as even fucking human beings. Like, they don't even feel like people. They feel like characters in a movie. This is the best way I can describe it. I felt so disconnected that I actually wanted to know more about the killer. Because at this point, I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing. See, this was what I thought the plan was. All right, you're not supposed to care about these guys. They're not the interest, right? And that works sometimes. I mean, Friday the 13th. Do any of you people care about counselor number B, or the 2 people having sex in the fucking cabin, or even the main counselor at the end of the movie who finds out it's Jason's mother or whatever? Did any of you really care about her? I didn't fucking care. I still don't care. Like, good actress. It's good for the time it came out. But honestly, I was more invested in the killer. Okay? And it had a satisfying answer to why this was happening, right? So I said to myself, and I put myself in the mindset, clearly this is not one of those movies where you care about the people in it, right? Like in Dashcam. Now, for as shit as that movie is, I will give them credit for making the world's most unlikable character and really fucking sticking with it. Because the special effects and the premise was still enough to where I wasn't completely pissed, but that character grinded on my gears. And that's what really took away from me in that movie. But it's not to say there wasn't anything in it where I didn't know what was going on. I understood the premise. I got what the story was. I got this character's a really fucking shitty person. And I was able to lash on to that. Now, when they didn't kill her, I was fucking furious, and they killed the only decent person in the movie. I was kind of pissed off about that. But maybe I'll do a review on Dashcam. That's a whole nother fucking barrel of monkeys there. But okay, that premise works. Sorry about that. Jesus Christ. It's like my headphones sometimes just have a connection. But anyways, that premise worked because there was a payoff at the end of that movie. I got something out of watching it. At the end of this movie, it really feels like a waste of time. So these friends quarantine. There's some kind of history here. The DJ dude had a fling with with uh with this other person. Oh, by the way, they're doing a drinking game about uh Dr. Fauci. What does this have to do with the movie? Does it contribute anything? No, nothing. It's just like COVID, so they threw it in there. There's no fucking point. The news stuff doesn't come back until the very convoluted ending, and we'll get there. So they were doing a drinking game to it, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't fucking lead to anything. Um, so there is a knock on the door, and it's the chick's other person, Benji. Benji, that was the other person. See, these characters are so unforgettable. I forgot the guy there, the only like other guy besides when we get to the killer. So Benji comes over, and so there's this thing where DJ has been sleeping around with all these guys, and they kind of went their own way. And I guess they had a relationship, but they wanted to do an open relationship. This is the only characterization you get about these characters, by the way. Okay, you get nothing else. After this, you have no fucking clue about who DJ is as a person and stuff. Just her and this guy went out. She wants to do her own thing. She decided she's going to sleep with whoever, and Benji didn't like it. Benji was filling her, and she said, "Sorry, Benji. Sorry, you're not my type. I'm going to go sleep with other dudes." So really fucking confused about what that has to do with character, but okay then. So Benji comes over, and this is when shit goes down, because later that night, there is a like this car they have, he turns off the light, turn it back on, normal killer bullshit. But while they sleep, the intruder steals their phones and then plays this really loud music. And it was it was so bad I forgot what he played, but it's a pretty well known song. Oh, I've been that song. I know the secrets that you keep while you're talking in your sleep. That song, that he plays that. So the dude tries to do a lot of scream stuff here. The killer texts these people to harass them. The turning on the music, turning on the truck lights, the horror movie cliches. This is literally an hour and 26 minutes of fucking terrible horror cliches that I thought we got rid of. Like, we don't use them anymore unless you're parodying horror, right? They don't use these tropes anymore because they're tropes, okay? But he honestly uses them as devices to try to make you scared. And it doesn't. It's not scary. There's not one moment when I go, oh shit, he's playing that song. Oh no. And the main reason why I don't say that anyways is because I don't give a fuck about Benji or Parker or fucking Maya. They're all a bunch of fucking wooden characters. Or Mira. See, I don't even remember. I don't fucking care about them. So, anyways, we get to a really cool, kind of awesome scene. The one character who winds up actually having a genuine kind of good moment, my man Benji. The only fucking kind of decent character in this movie. Killer comes, tries to overpower him, and Benji puts up a fight. And so I'm thinking, oh, okay, movie, you got me. It's going to be like one of these things where, like, we actually do have smart people, and maybe we'll find out more about Benji, and maybe Benji and Parker and Amir will all, like, come together to fuck this dude up or something, right? And so Benji saves Mira, who's being a bitch to begin with the whole fucking movie anyways, and saves the other fucking girl who basically just told him to go fuck himself like 20 minutes ago. So good for Benji. Benji, the fucking hero of the movie, R.I.P. Benji. He fucking throws himself in danger, tells them both to get out of the house, right? Like, fucks the killer dude up. I will give Benji credit and the movie credit. This is probably the best scene in the whole movie. They're going through this, like, log cabin, beautiful looking house. And he fucking throws him across the thing, and the killer gets back up, tries to stab him, and he stabs him in the shoulder, and he pushes him off of him, fucking takes the knife out, stabs the dude with his own knife. I'm like, go Benji, finally somebody in this movie with fucking common sense. Takes the killer and like throws him up against the wall, takes this antler thing off, bashes him over the head, and I'm thinking, oh, we got smart characters. Thank Jesus, I'm gonna have something to root for. Nope. What does Benji do? Benji trips over the fucking rug. Benji is on a roll. This man threw the killer against the wall. Had me rooting for him. And the best thing they could do in this script is that there's a rug that they have walked across at least 15 fucking times in this movie going downstairs. This is your house. You were supposed to have home court advantage. This log cabin has been in the family of the chick or whatever, and I get it, Benji just came over and he's never been here, but he passed that fucking rug like 3 fucking times at least, going in and out of the house. He knew the fucking rug was there. So why in the world of fuck, now Benji, now at the end, when you had me rooting for you, do you fucking trip over the rug? That's right, because this movie has fucking shitty writing and they can't think of a competent way to kill this character who's beating the shit out of the killer. So, to give the killer the advantage, motherfucker trips on a rug. Like, ugh. Okay. Alright. I'm sorry. This bad writing infuriates me to no end. Because I could think of 150 different scenarios you could do for that scene for it to make sense. But he fucking trips over fabric and then gets thrown into something, stabbed in the leg, right? Instead of continuing to kick the dude's ass like he was doing, he crawls to the door. He's like, Parker, Parker. I'll just sit here like this. And I'm laughing, both amazed and fucking furious, because out of 150 different fucking ways you could do this scene, you said, out of every fucking scenario you set up, you said, oh yeah, dude's gonna fucking trip, then get thrown like he weighed nothing, when the killer was struggling like 5 minutes ago to even pin this dude down. Now all of a sudden, Benji's gonna have a hard fucking time fighting back. Oh, that's right, because the killer can't win. Because if the killer wins now, the fucking movie is over. So motherfucker trips on a rug, gets stabbed, instead of continuing to kick this dude off of him or whatever else, just says the girl's name, puts his fucking hand on the door, boom, Benji's dead. His common sense and everything just fucking zapped out in one scene. And this is what I'm talking about when I talk about inconsistent writing. You can't have a guy damn near beat the shit out of a killer and then give me a stupid fucking reason that all of a sudden he loses his all of his strength and the killer becomes like fucking Superman out of nowhere and beats the shit out of this dude and stabs him like 18 times. This is the level of writing that I was dealing with. Like, holy fucking shit. I can't even describe to you how infuriating that one part alone. But we aren't even to the ending, because the ending takes the fucking cake on how bad this was for me. Alright? So, R.I.P. Benji, you got fucked over. You can't convince me. Now, another cool scene is, while they're there, the truck that Benji came in, they try to leave. Of course, it mysteriously gets a flat tire. Didn't have a fucking flat tire before. And all of a sudden now, they got a flat tire. Don't explain it. Like, I could put together in my mind that the killer slashed the tire, but the fucking movie doesn't show me. And I get that there's a, show don't tell thing, but they don't fucking show anything. So they don't show the killer slashing the tire, so I got it in my head when they go in the truck, the tires, they just go to take the truck and the fucking wheel, they get a flat tire. So I think, oh, they've got the worst fucking truck in the world. Now, obviously, the killer slashed the tires so that if they tried to take the truck, it would go. But there's a point where you have to explain something to your fucking audience so they know what the fuck is going on. Because for a second, I had to fucking rewind it because I thought I fucking missed something. Because I'm like, wait a second, how the fuck, this is a brand new truck. How the fuck do they already have a flat? So, by the power of deduction, yes, I'm going to assume that the killer slashed the tire. Did I get any fucking inkling, any inclination of this? No, none at all. No fucking idea what's going on at this point. Okay? So, they go, the tires are fucked. They have to go back in. They go back to the house. The best friend, Mira, gets fucking gruesomely stabbed. And I will give them one thing. The gore effects are pretty cool. Benji got a fucking flagpole through his chest. Good kill scene. Terrible movie. Awesome looking kill. Like, it was all practical. So that was pretty cool. The best friend getting stabbed in the leg. That was fucking awesome. They show like a close-up and it looks like you could see her shin. That's how deep the knife went in. So that was pretty cool. So finally, Parker does something fucking smart. Jumps on top of the killer, right? She's like, fuck it, I've had enough. And I thought, okay, this is where we'll get some kind of character development. Or I'll find out something about this character. She goes fucking nuts on this dude. Takes a toaster and beats the ever-loving shit out of him. Right? And then, caves his head in. And once again, cool scene. But like I said, cool ideas, but very poor script and execution. Terrible execution. So, jumps on top of dude, beats the fuck out of him with a toaster. I'm like, cool. Like it. Awesome. And then, plot twist number 1. Because yes, this movie has multiple plot twists that come out of fucking nowhere and give you no fucking idea what the fuck was going on. So, yeah, don't waste your fucking time. It's free on Peacock. Watch Yellowstone. Watch anything else. Don't fucking waste. You see, oh, sick, this looks good. Don't fucking do it to yourself. Don't do it. This movie is fucking just horrendous. Yes, Sean B goes, I guess I never know how to watch this movie. LOL. Sounds like a huge pile of trash. Yeah, it was garbage. It was. I don't even want to insult garbage by saying it was garbage. But yeah, so big plot twist. There's more than one killer. Okay, I kind of fucking figured that because someone got killed in random store B and they were being stalked over here over the weekend. So I figured there were more than one fucking killer in this movie. So fine, cool. I was like, oh, there's the famous Kevin Williams plot twist. I wish, folks, I fucking wish this was the only plot twist. But remember, we're talking about COVID. So don't worry. We'll come back to that. So that's plot twist number 1. And I go, well, if it ends here, right? And they have the big chase sequence and she stops the killer or whatever. And, it's not the greatest movie to me. But I'm not going to be sitting up here and bashing it. But oh no, folks. No, we don't stop here. This movie goes full on batshit fucking stupid. Alright? And I don't mean Fast and Furious stupid, where I'm going to go watch Fast X and I know it's going to be fucking stupid, but I don't care because I'm invested, right? It's not one of those, like when you go to see the movie and you go, you know what, this is going to be big, stupid fun. I know this isn't meant to be an Academy Award winning film, but I'm just going to enjoy it because fuck it. John Cena and Vin Diesel jump 50 feet and somehow live. Like, it's not one of those stupids. It's, this movie thinks it's smart. This movie thinks it's scaring you when it's not. And that's the biggest thing that makes this movie a big, epic fail for me. It's not that this movie is bad. I could handle that. I've seen a lot of bad movies. I've even liked some bad movies. It's this movie is not self-aware enough to realize that the serious tone it's trying to do for this makes this movie by default fucking terrible, because it's trying to be serious when everything that's around it is fucking ridiculous and could never actually be a thing. But we'll get there. So the killer chases Parker, right? They go round and round. There's another cool sequence. She takes a raft, right? She leaves her friend behind, Mira, because, I guess fuck the only black person in the movie. And she's like, I'm going to go get help. And we all know how that turns out. But to the credit, she's like, yeah, go, whatever. And so, because she killed the first killer, the original killer says, fuck the person who's in the cabin who could call 911 and the police. I'm going to leave them alone for like a fucking hour. And I'm going to go chase this fucking bitch who's going to go across the fucking pond on a raft that is probably going to take them a while to get help. So the dude goes after girl on raft, and I'm sitting there going, why would you let the other girl who got up and is nursing her wound, why would you let her stay in the house to call 911 when you're supposed to be murdering everybody? And at this point now, I'm getting frustrated with the killers. So I don't really like the killers. I don't really like the fucking characters. At this point, I'm just hoping COVID wins. I'm not even fucking joking. I'm hoping COVID is the winner of this story. Because everybody's fucking stupid in this movie. Nothing makes goddamn sense. This is the first time I've been rooting for COVID. Because this is fucking stupid. Why, if you are murdering people, why in the world would you fucking leave the person who might be still alive that you saw moving to go chase the girl on a fucking raft across the lake? Why? Why? Could anybody tell me how? And I swear to God, this isn't a comedy. Like, me explaining it, you would think this would make a fucking great, like, parody film. If this was a parody, 10 out of 10. The fact that this movie is dead serious about the premise makes it fucking stupider. Because the choices that are made are so astronomically fucking dumb, I cannot comprehend who looked at the script, shot this fucking scene, and thought, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I told you this was going to be a rant. And I had to explain it because I wanted to make sure it wasn't just me. I wanted to make sure I'm not just being an asshole here. This is fucking stupid. None of this makes goddamn sense. Okay? So, motherfucker chases the girl with a weapon on a tiny ass raft. Somehow, still don't explain these logistics. She's on the raft, and once again, this scene is cool, but in context makes no fucking sense at all. She's in this raft in the middle of the lake, right? And I shit you not, it's like an old school, just a fucking wooden board with a paddle. That's it, right? Paddling along, and the fucking killer takes the knife, like in most of these movies, and is fucking stabbing up through the raft. And all I'm thinking at this point is, how the fuck is this guy holding on to the raft with her not seeing him, but underneath it, stabbing through? Because he can't be stabbing from the side because it's coming up under the boards she's standing on. So, did he swim underneath, then hold on to it while she's moving like this, and then drop one arm and stab through the top? See, when you think about it, your head will explode. Because me just trying to make sense how the fuck this scene makes any goddamn sense, my head is literally close to exploding. The logistics does not make sense. And look, I know it's a horror movie. You gotta suspend disbelief. But shit in Megan was more realistic than any scene in this fucking movie. because I at least understood the logistics of the situation. With this, how the fuck is this supposed to be a normal guy? And I will get to a reveal, which makes even less sense, because when they get down to the killers who are left, it doesn't make sense how the fuck this dude did what he did. But anyways, I'm rushing. He holds on to the side, and then he drops his hand down, somehow still keeps his fucking knife, while going across the lake and swimming with a raft, but underneath it so she can't see him. So he's like Michael Phelps level holding his fucking breath, and then comes up and stabs the top. Like, it's a cool scene, but it doesn't make sense. Nothing in this movie makes fucking sense. And if that's the case, take her fucking oar, pull her down, stab her, bam, done. Why are you going through the trouble of trying to stab her through the top of a wooden fucking raft when you could just get on that motherfucker and overpower her, throw her in the lake and fucking stab her, boom, done. Like, it doesn't make any content. It doesn't make any sense. Like, who thought? Like, it was like a cool scene, but it was instead of, hey, Kevin, how are we going to make this make sense to the context you're putting it in? It's like, yeah, man, that's fucking awesome. Throw it in there. Like, was anybody editing this? I want to know. Did anybody fucking look at the stills of this movie and go, you know what, Kevin? Maybe we should cut this, maybe move this here. Like, did anybody do that? Because I don't think nobody did. I don't think anybody even fucking looked at this movie before it was presented, because nothing makes any goddamn sense in this movie. Not a thing. And I'm getting to the worst part of it. So, she goes over, she finds this neighbor, of course, another commentary on COVID. She goes to the neighbor, and the dude doesn't even fucking answer his door like a normal guy. She knocks on the door, he doesn't answer. Well, to be fair, she then resorts to breaking in. But in her defense, she's being chased by a serial killer, so I get it. So she breaks into the dude's house. Now, she's covered in blood. She's been stabbed in the hand and the leg. Blood all over her face. Dude comes out with a shotgun. And he goes, get out of here. I don't want you people getting me sick. And I'm going, like, I see what you're doing, movie. But nobody, I don't give a shit if it was the height of COVID or not. Nobody is just going to see a young woman bleeding, blood coming from her hand, her fucking leg, covered in blood on her face, and go, well, you gotta get the fuck out of here because I might get sick. Like, if that was the attempt at humor, it falls too fucking flat to be funny. And if it's serious, it's too fucking stupid to be serious. And this is the issue throughout the whole movie. So, of course, dude with shotguns dies. And once again, another cool scene, the killer smartly grabs the gun and starts shooting at her. So, I did appreciate that. Like, I could see that he took the suggestions from, like, the Scream movies, like, why doesn't the killer ever pick up the gun? So the dude picks up a double-barrel shotgun and starts shooting at her. So I thought that was pretty cool. We cut back to the other friend, the black chick, and apparently she's not dead. She splinters her leg. Parker, we cut back to the Parker chick. She winds up making it to the road. So she gets to the road. There's this lady, and you guys saw it in the preview. She fights off the killer, right? It was pretty cool, pretty heroic, a little moment for her. I thought it was going to make me like this character, but we'll get to the end. So she has a tussle with the killer, right? Kicks the shit out of him, like flips him over her shoulder, gets a tree branch, fucks him up. I'm like, good for you, okay? And you know, they didn't nerf the killer this time. He did like come up behind her and she did some jujitsu shit. They should have put it in her background, but anyways, like I said, they don't fucking tell you. She could have been a jujitsu person. She could have taken women's self-defense. I don't know. They don't fucking tell me. Movie doesn't tell me. She's just Parker. So I've got to assume she took some kind of defense course to justify this. But whatever. So she flips the killer over, beats his ass, and a lady comes in the car. And so This is where I'm confused about if this movie's supposed to be fucking serious. Once again, she's covered in blood at this point. Just blood everywhere. Lady pulls up and stops and says, she goes, help! She sees in her headlights a shadowy figure on the ground struggling to get up. This bitch looks at her and goes, well, do you have a mask? And she's like, are you fucking serious right now, lady? I don't have a mask. I've been being fucking chased by this guy, right? And at this point, I thought maybe this is a comedy, and I was looking at it wrong. Because the whole scene, if it's supposed to be serious, it is so fucking ridiculous that I refuse to believe it's any serious commentary. Like, at this point, I'm back to, this has to be a fucking comedy. Because there's no way this is meant to be serious, right? But oh no. No. This. Holy fucking Christ. Oh, God. So, I can't even. This is where we, folks, this is where we enter the point of no fucking return. Fucking buckle up. Because motives and everything will be revealed. So, this lady offers her a mask. So she goes, fine, fuck it, takes the mask, goes in, sits in the passenger seat. Everything gets wavy, and I go, no, you're not, no, you're not, this is, no, movie, no, you're not fucking serious. This is, sure enough, that lady you saw in the preview puts some kind of fucking chloroform on the mask, which I'm not even going to the logistics of how that would not work. But anyways, knocks her out. Hold on, let me read Sean B's before I do the big reveal. It is one of those movies that got a theatrical release that didn't need or deserve a theatrical release. It honestly sounds like a cheap horror. Yes, it sounds like a horror TV movie, like a cheap, streaming only. This is the kind of movie that should be on fucking streaming. This is specifically made for streaming. So, she puts some kind of chloroform or some shit on the mask, and she gets knocked out. And I'm drinking right now because to relive this, I gotta have a fucking stiff drink. Folks, brace your butts. This is where shit takes a 180 turn into fucking ridiculous town. If you thought what I was describing was fucking ridiculous, oh boy, we go off the fucking rails. Fucking strap in, put on your seatbelts. This shit's gonna get stupid. So, the lady you saw in the preview, who was in the car, fucking chloroforms her, drives her the fuck back to the cabin. Now, black chick in the cabin obviously hasn't left. She's hoping her friend got help. She very smartly put a splint on her leg. So, kudos to the black chick, because she's the only one who has somewhat of intelligence in this whole fucking movie. Granted, they don't give her enough screen time to do anything fucking stupid anyways. So, way to be progressive, Hollywood. But anyways, so she notices that the friend now is back. And the lady, when she wakes up, the lady who was in the car is there. And the face reveal comes. And this is the point at the movie where I said, what? Because these fucking people are not in this movie whatsoever. This reveal is so terrible because these fucking people were not mentioned whatsoever. As a matter of fact, when I tell you the whole reason for the killer's motives, it is so fucking ridiculous because these people aren't even fucking hinted at whatsoever. Not at all. So this reveal doesn't work because you don't know who the fuck these people are. So I'm looking at this lady, and it's an older dude. And this other guy. And I look and I'm like, okay, there's 3 of them. I go, okay, cool, 3 killers, but who the fuck are these people? I have not seen these people, and I swear to God, they do not show these people at all whatsoever. So in order to have a mystery scenario, you at least sorry about that. This was so stupid that my mic literally just gave up. Okay, so these people aren't hinted at whatsoever. So you want to know what the motive is? Do you want to know why the killer is killing these people? Why the dude in the beginning, the random dude who you never hear about again, got killed? Followed in the grocery store and killed? Okay, so here is the motive. You guys ready? Here is the motive. This is fucking epic. So the two murderers are named Jason and Pamela. And the deceased intruder that she killed was their older son. Now, Benji had hooked up with this boy named Parker, and they pull up a video of her kissing him on Instagram. Now, throughout this whole movie, she's been saying she's not infected. That's the only thing I got from this movie, okay? That she wasn't infected. Well, brace yourselves, because the mother not only gave her a test, but traced back with that bullshit that they were doing for a while where you could trace where you got COVID from kind of deal. Okay, so the mother gave her a test, and she was positive. She was asymptomatic and didn't know, and went to this party and apparently gave everyone COVID. And their younger son, who's college age, he's in fucking college, died of COVID. So, her younger son died of COVID. So, does she try to go after the college? Sue the people who hosted the party? Go after the parents because this girl has money? They decide no. They're gonna fucking kill everybody who was responsible for contracting the COVID at this party. At this point, I'm just like, what? Wait, what? What is happening right now? What? So they committed murder, right? And I guess this is the commentary he's supposed to be going for, right? But they go unhinged, and clearly they were those people who were hyper, like, wear your mask and all that stuff. So his balanced commentary is this girl didn't give a shit and didn't wear a mask at this party, so she infected everyone. So as a balanced counterpoint, these fucking people murdered like 4 people because she didn't wear a mask. Like, what is happening right now? So she went and she kissed this guy and gave him COVID at a party, and he wound up dying in a hospital bed. And they were pissed off because she didn't even know who their son was. And so they decided it was just cool to kill a bunch of people because their son died from COVID, which it's still not 100% confirmed that she had it, although it's implied she was asymptomatic and she just didn't realize. So, she was being irresponsible. And that leads to a kid dying, which leads to then some people will murder you. Like, what is the message? So, what I'm failing to comprehend is this pro-mask? Is it not pro-mask? Is it saying... The commentary just comes from fucking left field, and there's sprinkled shit here and there, but it's not enough to make sense. So you get to the reveal and you go, what the fuck is going on? So you are justifying your murdering spree because she kissed your son and he got COVID, even though everybody at this party had gotten it, and the original person, which they pointed out, which was the other person she had kissed, had it, and then she passed it along. So, like, is it really even her fault? It's a fucking virus. He could have got it walking down the street. He could have got it going to the store. And I guess this is supposed to be the conversation we're having, but it's so fucking stupid that you're just laughing at this reveal because it makes no goddamn sense. So this is the double plot twist. So, oh my god, so the father and the mother are the only ones left. They kill the older son. And they killed Tyler because he was the original carrier, and that's the person who got killed at the beginning of the movie. And so, of course, the only smart one, Mira, does 911 on the laptop. And then they get chased through the home. In another cool death scene, the one girl pushes the dude onto deer antlers, the father, and impales him. And then, like, as the last stinger, they knocked out the mother. They didn't check. Of course, she comes back. So the mother takes an axe and tries to kill the one girl. She uses a gas can, right, and blocks. And this was another cool scene. Like, this movie had a lot of cool kills. That's my one good thing about this movie. But she chops this fucking gasoline can. And then she shakes all of the gas onto the mother, and she says something generic like, you know, fuck you, bitch, or something, and lights her on fire. And so now here's where they immediately ruin it. So she lights the mother on fire. Now look, I was a hospital corpsman, okay? She walks all the way down the road lit on fire. Do you know how much pain you would be in if you were fucking lit on fire? She walks, and it's a big driveway. This driveway that they're in, this is a fancy ass, like, log cabin home, okay? The driveway is, like, fucking down a ways. Like, you gotta walk down and go down the whole bit. She fucking walks the whole length of the driveway, and as the cops are coming, the bitch goes in the road and fucking on fire. And I'm like, yep. Yeah, that's how you end something like this. And that's the end. That's it. That's it. That's the... I can't describe to you the first feeling I had after this movie was total and utter disbelief that this fucking pile of shit was made. The second feeling I got was utter rage that somebody thought this was a fucking good movie. And that they let this... So let me give you a little example. They played this at the Toronto International Film Festival. Currently, on Rotten Tomatoes, this has an 86 by critics. Of course it does. A fucking 86% by critics. Because it's talking about COVID and the people not wearing masks. So yeah, 86%. Are you out of your fucking mind? What fucking critic? You guys make me sick. Ha! Get it? Sick? Anyways, what critic could watch this fucking movie and give it anything resembling a fucking 9 or 10? Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you it's like that Joan Jameson. Are you serious? Yeah. Are you serious? You are fucking telling me in the year 2022, out of all the fucking movies you saw, this fucking pile of shit is up there with the good ones. Because that's what that means, right? 9 out of 10? That means you put this with fucking Halloween and all the other movies, right? All the other movies that were reviewed well. For all of the faults that Halloween has, it is at least competently shot. Now, whether or not you like the story, okay, that goes into a whole nother thing. But it is well made. There is decent acting for the most part. Some of it kind of whatever, but there's something to it. fucking X, any of these movies, there's something to it. Like Pooh, Blood, and Honey. Look, that movie's terrible. But it's so terrible, and I think they knew it was terrible, and they kind of just go with it. And that makes me appreciate the kind of movie that it is. This movie thinks it's good, and it's not. It thinks it's saying a powerful message about fucking putting your mask on. Who? Why? This exists. You realize this exists forever. We will have this is up there with movies that like Zombie Beaver. These movies now exist. We have them in our world. Somebody got money and they fucking got a big studio to look at the script and greenlight it. This thing's real. We'll have it forever on Peacock. Peacock, this is why you have no fucking subscribers. Like, this is why your service doesn't have any fucking people. Like, I'll give you good on you partnering with Blumhouse. You need to. Because Megan was the first time people even acknowledged that Peacock's a fucking service. This is why you don't have subscribers, Peacock. Because you put out a shitty movie like this. For all of the shit people give Netflix, there are legitimately good movies and shows on there. They at least got something. Peacock, you got this as your first original movie. This is fucking terrible. This is fucking god-awful. Do not waste your fucking time on this movie. That's my cliff note. This is fucking horrendous. Alright? One website gave this a 7 out of 10. They said, smart, self-aware, and all too timely slasher, co-written by Kevin Williamson, is sick. It's sick in all the best ways. And on Metacritic, another critic said, this movie is snappy and smart, well written, and makes you think about topical topics. Eat a dick. This movie fucking sucks. This movie has nothing intelligent to say. This movie so doesn't care about what it's trying to say that when you get to the end of the movie, you're fucking confused on what COVID had to do with this movie. If you cut out all the COVID shit, this is just a generic, run-in-the-mill fucking slasher that on any other topic, this would have got a fucking 2. But because we're talking about a hot button issue, this movie is all of a sudden a fucking masterpiece. It's fucking bad. It's a bad movie. If you fucking see this in your Peacock lineup, do not fucking click it. And curiosity got the best of me, and sometimes it pays off. Like when I watched that one movie, Sissy, okay? I hadn't fucking heard of it. I was like, oh, let me try, and it turned out to be great. It was on, like, I have a whole review. Go check that out. Swarm. I hadn't checked out Swarm. Everybody told me go check out Swarm. I wind up doing a whole fucking stream on that, and it made me think and about fans and that shit. This movie has nothing intelligent to say. It's got nothing new to say. It's a bunch of fucking tropes and cliches that you've seen 1,000 times. This movie is fucking terrible, and I hope to God that Kevin Williamson stops fucking smoking whatever he was smoking when he made this fucking movie. Because I have no fucking clue what he was doing, but he was on some pretty good shit if he thought this was a fucking good movie. Dude, I'm sorry you lost Wes Craven, but clearly we know out of the two of you who kept who in check. Because this is fucking terrible. This movie's fucking atrocious. I'm giving this movie a fucking 2. Honestly, I was on a 3 or a 4. But with that reveal, and with how poorly this is all presented, and can I say it's completely garbage? No, because some of the shots are good. Some of the kills are good. But even Bitchy said, the camera work and the lighting and stuff is terrible. It's like watching a 90s movie again. And not in a good way. This is like peak 90s terrible editing and shooting in 2022. It is fucking bad. This movie is bad. It is a fucking terrible movie. I'm sorry. If Kevin Williams ever comes across this stream, which he probably won't, because who the fuck am I? Kevin, I'm sorry. I think you're a great guy. I love your work, but this ain't it, bro. This is a fucking terrible movie. Don't ever, and fucking fire the person who helped you with this script, because that fucking person is a terrible writer too. This is a fucking terrible script. None of it made sense. None of it fucking mattered. The reveal at the end was nonsensical. None of the killers made sense. We had no idea. It just comes from left field. This is literally the definition of a bad movie. And all of you fucking critics, who I know critics are a joke, but you guys are really a fucking joke. If you are rating this movie good just because it talks about COVID, you're a fucking moron. This movie's gonna age terribly, just like your fucking opinions. So that's my rant for this evening. Thank you for joining Evening Kills. Kind of, it was Morning Kills special, but I talked about FNAF. I talked about Nic Cage coming to Dead by Dawn. And of course, my review on one of the worst movies I've seen. I swear to God, if this movie came out this year, I would have put it in my top 10 worst movies. This would have probably been number 3. I do have one movie in mind for number 1 so far. We'll see. The year's still young. But there still is a couple of movies in my top 10 worst list that are competing hard. Yeah, this movie would be in there. Unfortunately, I had not gotten to this movie in time, and I kind of wish I never did. This is one of those movies I wish I never fucking got to watching this movie. And the people who said, "Oh, you should check this out," I'm gonna send you fucking nasty emails. I wasted fucking an hour and 20 minutes of my life I will never get back. I could have been keeping up with Yellowstone. I'm on fucking season 5. I gotta watch the rest of that season. I could have been fucking watching the adventures of fucking Yellowstone and the Duttons trying to fuck people over. Instead, I gave away an hour of my time that could have been spent on something exciting for this fucking piece of shit. Fuck you. Fuck all of you people who said this was a good movie. Okay? Watch better movies. Fuck all of you critics who gave this a fucking good review just because it talks about COVID and irresponsible people. Fuck you, because you guys don't know good movies. And yeah, fuck this movie. Fuck it in general. I fucking hate this movie. I really do. I haven't hated a movie like this in quite some time. This movie is fucking terrible. It is bad. Don't see it. Don't fucking see it. Do yourself a favor. Do something I didn't do. I watched it so you don't have to suffer. Don't fucking watch this movie. It is fucking a giant waste of time. Thank you very much for watching my stream. I hope I was entertaining in my suffering for this fucking piece of trash movie. If you liked it, give me the big old thumbs up. Let people know. Spread this movie around. Tell me what you guys... Let's talk about something so I don't leave fucking pissed off because I want to watch Yellowstone in a good mood. Tell me how excited you are about the new Five Nights at Freddy. If you got any interest or anything like that, let me know in the comments. Is it something you're intrigued by? Are you curious? Does it seem like something you might check out even if you don't know and you're not one of the FNAF crazies? I'll put myself in there. I went down a rabbit hole. Let me tell you something. I watched so many FNAF fucking lore videos. Like, I went down a deep, dark part of the internet, my friends. And maybe one day I'll explain the whole lore to you. But I need at least... That's a 3-hour stream in itself. But I went down a very deep, dark rabbit hole with finding shit out about Five Nights at Freddy's. But, no, I'm super excited. And I want to know, like, what do you guys think about this new movie coming out? Is this something you'd be interested in seeing? Are you not interested? Do you not care? Do you not even know about Five Nights at Freddy's? Just let me know in the comments. What is your whole take on it? Is it something that maybe you'd give a chance to? Because I know a lot of people who don't follow the games might not be really familiar with the whole, craziness behind it. But thank you all for watching. I'm going to leave us out on a note as I started, that we'll go out on sort of this teaser. Thank you all for watching. And as always, remember, waking up in the morning definitely kills. All right.
Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, where fantasy and fun come to life. Hit it, guys.
If you're watching this video, it means you've been selected as Freddy's newest security guard.
Hello?
We're going to have so much fun together.